Obama is trying to save the Kamala Harris campaign, ladies and gentlemen, and I can't believe what I'm seeing. All right, first things first, all right? There's a lot of controversy around this, and when I was reviewing the video on 60 Minutes and then they blocked the video from me being able to show it, don't worry, I'm disputing it. We're going to get it back up, but they're saying that the dispute can last within like 27 more days or something like that. We gave a lot of praise to 60 Minutes for actually asking the questions and pressing on the questions that we thought was pertinent to the American people. And we thought that they did a good job. But the producers and the network, obviously, they're saying that people are saying that the interview was edited because Kamala Harris's team wanted to take some stuff out of there that she messed up on. So whereas we hold Trump accountable for the things, for example, that he said in Detroit and all of that, and I don't even think it was that bad. I just think that it was original thought. They don't come in with a prerequisites as to what you can and can't do. They saying that the campaign and Kamala Harris forced CBS to heavily edit the video. Didn't stop them from airing it, but to heavily edit the video because they didn't like how it represented her. And it already had represented her pretty bad even with the edited version. But yeah, man, they saying that, it's a controversy. It's a big thing. Check it out.
Listen to this controversy here. Former CBS staffers are reportedly calling for an independent investigation after the network aired two different answers to the same question during a 60 Minutes interview with Vice President Kamala Harris. Now, the first version aired during a promotional clip on Sunday night, while the second, shorter answer aired during 60 Minutes on Monday. Listen to both back to back.
It seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
Well, Bill, the work that we have done has resulted in a number of movements in that region by Israel that were very much prompted by or a result of many things, including our advocacy for what needs to happen in the region.
But it seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
We're not going to stop pursuing what is necessary for the United States to be clear about where we stand on the need for this.
Yeah. That's dirty. That's dirty. That's super dirty. I can't believe that they let them bully them like that and put this out the way today. Because obviously the other one was pretty incoherent and she didn't know what she was saying and all of that. And so we don't know what they really did leave out and how much of it was super edited so that it wouldn't paint her in an even worse light that we seen her in this situation. Yeah, that's bad. That's bad.
This war to end.
Wow. Joe Conchas, a Fox News contributor, joins us now. Joe, I want to be crystal clear about something. This is not a thing that we do in the media. Yes, you may not always air the full answer to a question, but you never, ever put the answer to question B with question A. So why would the esteemed journalists at the paragon of virtue, 60 Minutes, think they could get away with such a thing?
I keep reading so-called media reporters defending this, like, who've never worked, by the way, ever in an actual newsroom, saying, oh, this is very common to do this. No. Why, if you're CBS News, would you promote 60 Minutes with a clip of Kamala Harris saying one thing and then during the interview not play that clip and air something completely different? Oh, that's right. The clip you promoted made her look horrible, as what usually happens when she's outside of a teleprompter. And then the clip that you actually played was something that made her sound a bit more competent, I guess. Either way, it's very simple, Todd, if you're CBS News. Release the entire interview on CBSNews.com. Let everyone see it from start to finish without any edits, any jump cuts. And while you're at it, release the transcript as well. But CBS, they only released the transcript of the edited portion of the video. Why is that, CBS? We don't know, because Fox News has reached out to CBS News to say, why aren't you releasing the whole interview, and they won't even respond. This is the same news division that screams about the importance of transparency, and they're being anything but transparent here. I mean, this is journalistic malfeasance. And now the story is far less about Kamala's actual answer after the edit and much more about 60 Minutes and their ethics or lack thereof. And this completely justifies Donald Trump's decision to not do this interview on CBS, because they would have edited him the exact opposite way. They would have taken him and put him in the worst light, because that's CBS News these days. That's the exact opposite of what it was under Edward R. Murrow and Walter Cronkite. That is certainly for sure.
Well,
I don't even like doing pre-recorded interviews anymore, unless people are really willing to go live with me and just say what they want to say and all of that. I don't even prefer to do interviews in person. I'd rather live stream them, and then you just talk to the people and let the people decide what they want to do. That's kind of my new thing. I don't know. But then at the same time, even though this whole controversy is going off, Obama is on the campaign trail. And one of the things that he's doing is he's doing the same thing as Roland Martin. He's doing the same thing as Ricky Smiley. He's doing the same thing as Steve Harvey. He's doing the same thing as Charlemagne. And they're going off on black men. Now, this is courtesy of CNN. They're going off on black men for not supporting Kamala Harris. Take a look.
Barack Obama is back on the campaign trail, and he's making the case against Donald Trump. But before his guest feature in Pennsylvania, Obama made a surprise visit to Kamala Harris's campaign headquarters in Pittsburgh. It was there that he got candid, maybe a little too candid if you are in the vice president's inner circle tonight. He warned that Harris is underperforming him with black voters, and he had a message specifically for black men.
Part of it makes me think that, well, you just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman as president. And you're coming up with other alternatives and other reasons for them. And so now you're thinking about sitting out or even supporting somebody who has a history of denigrating you because you think that's a sign of strength, because that's what being a man is, putting women down.
Oh, because we don't want to support Kamala Harris and we got our own reasons. Now that translates into us putting women down. They pulling out all of the stops, ain't they? They pulling out all of the stops. So because we can think for ourselves and we can make up our own mind, they pulling out they star. I mean, Barack Obama to the Democratic Party is their final form. If all else fails, and we're starting to see pullback and people not really showing up for Kamala Harris anymore, and Roland Martin can't get him in the door, and Stephen A. Smith and all of these little celebrities, and we still not rocking with them, you pull out Obama to go ahead and hold us accountable. So because we've learned how to think for ourselves and we making the best decision for ourselves based off of what's best for our family and our lives and our economic future, all of a sudden we're putting down women because we don't want to vote for Kamala Harris. This is disrespectful. Honestly, I look at this as one of the biggest signs of disrespect, because you can't bully me into doing something that I don't want to do. I don't identify with her. I think that her policies is bad, and I think she's a horrible candidate. And nobody, and I mean absolutely nobody, in this entire election season has ever given me one reason why we should vote for Kamala Harris, especially considering what we've experienced over the last 3.5 years. And you got Obama going off on black men and holding us accountable because we don't want to vote for her. And I thought it was our freedom to do what we wanted to do. And if they decide that they don't want to vote, then that's their choice. If they decide that they don't want to vote for her, then that's their choice. If they decide that they want to vote for Trump, then that's their choice. When did it become cool to go off on people as a former president for not supporting the person that you want to become president of the United States of America and go off on a whole generation of men? because we learn how to think for ourselves, because we operate in our masculinity. This is word for word. This is what he's saying. The person that left us with a legacy of the alphabet community is now holding us accountable and telling us that we're putting down women because we choose not to vote for Kamala. Because we chose not to vote for Kamala Harris. This is crazy. This is insane. Boy, they pulling out all of the stops, ain't they?
That's not acceptable.
Let me play it again for the people in the back.
Because you think that's supporting somebody?
Hold on.
You're coming up with a feeling. Part of it makes me think that, well, you just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman as president. And you're coming up with other alternatives and other reasons for it.
This is what y'all get for supporting
So
us.
now you're thinking about sitting out or even supporting somebody who has a history of denigrating you because you think that's a sign of strength, because that's what being a man is, putting women down. That's not acceptable.
CNN political commentator Errol Lewis is in our fifth seat for this conversation. Errol, I guess he knew the cameras were there. It was an unscheduled stop, but that message was so pointed. In addition to him making it very clear, Kamala Harris is not doing what she needs to do with this core Democratic constituency.
That's right. Although he is asking her, let's be clear, to go over a very high hurdle. Barack Obama got historic levels of black voter registration and turnout and support, and he did it twice. It was almost inevitable that it was going to swing more toward the long-term average of a handful of black voters.
Can I interrupt you for just a moment, just to show you something here? Because we went back, looked at 2020 exit polls. Biden got 92% of the black vote. Right now, according to Quinnipiac, this is in Pennsylvania, according to Quinnipiac, Harris is at 78. It's a big gap in this state right now. And that can be closed because Biden is not Barack Obama.
Biden is not, well, he was Barack Obama's running mate. Right. Certainly some spillover there. But you cannot ask of every black candidate in the post-Obama era, you've got to come up with 92% of the black vote every time. That is just not a reasonable assumption.
Let me get Sage Steele. So Sage Steele recently went on Fox News to give her take on what is happening with this whole Obama simping for Kamala Harris campaign. Take a look at what she had to say.
Sage Steele, host of the Sage Steele podcast, back on prime time. How you doing, Sage?
I'm great, Jesse. It's good to see you again.
Good to see you, too. Obama doesn't look great. He looks worried, and he's mad at the brothers for not coming out for Harris. Do you think the magic from the Messiah is going to be enough to drag the best-looking attorney general in America across the finish line?
What I think versus what I want, actually, I think this answer is the same. To me, no. Because right now it's obvious that they are in panic mode. That's why, and again, I just moved to the state of Florida, the free state of Florida, as we say. And one of the reasons is because I'm trying to escape the way my state up north in Connecticut had been run because of people like Kamala, and frankly, because of Barack Obama as well. But at the end of the day, the optics have been disturbing if I take a step back and put my biases aside and say, okay, what is this campaign doing? And to bring him in now after what? The complete flub with how they handled the storm, Hurricane Helene in particular, and coming off of the major pushback. She's gotten crushed from going on the podcast, Call Her Daddy, and then, of course, drinking beer with Stephen Colbert. How about those optics, by the way?
Yeah.
And all the
plan
smoke.
that ahead to pick the kind of beer she's going to drink. Do you think people buy that? So this is panic. However, if I'm their campaign, I would be doing the exact same thing because people now go, oh my gosh, where is Barack Obama? I hope that for the sake of our country, not because I like Donald Trump better or her less, for the sake of our country, based on what? What we've already seen for 4 years from 2016 through 2020, how our country was safer in every aspect, how our economy was so much better. I really hope that people can once again put aside all the personalities, focus on the policies, and just be honest. If you have to plug your nose when you go in there to vote, do it. But at the end of
I agree. I agree with everything she's saying.
the day, this desperation ploy right now, I think we can all kind of see what's happening.
I mean, even Barack Obama said it himself. He said, Americans are struggling. I understand why people want change. People are frustrated. I mean, we are living in a Biden-Harris world, and he's saying, I get it. You don't like these people. You don't want to be here anymore. But he's saying, not Donald Trump. You got to go Harris. That argument doesn't make any sense. She just said she's no different than Joe Biden. Sage?
She did. She
I
said
think
it on The
Barack's
View.
lost his touch.
That's the thing. I mean, what else can he say? They are actually between a rock and a hard place, right? You're trying to say, no, bring me in because I represent change. I'll make you better. Change from what? The same 4 years that you've been a part of? And you say all the time, we. So which one is it, right? And they don't know what to say. They think that people are so dumb and so anti-Trump, which many are, that they're just going to ignore the facts and focus just on him. I hope that we as voters are better than that.